Hi, this is Tanya Becker, and I'm your host for today's episode of PartsVu Xchange Talks Boating. If you haven't already, please subscribe to PartsVu Xchange Talks Boating wherever you get your podcasts. Also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss out on any content there. Jason Bradstreet is here with me today. Jason grew up fishing tournaments with his dad, who was a well-known Central Florida bass guide and tournament angler. His family loves to fish, and he now serves as a bass fishing coach and captain to his kids, who fish tournaments in the Bass Nation circuit. He's also the publisher of BassFishingInsider.com and is very involved in the bass tournament fishing scene at both the professional and recreational levels. Jason recently attended ICAST, which is an industry-only exposition for the sports fishing industry. In fact, I think it's the largest sports fishing trade event in the world. Since ICAST is not open to the public, Jason agreed to share some of the things he learned and saw at the event. Thanks so much for being with me here today, Jason.
Thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. So why don't we start? Could you just start by sharing, what ICAST is and why people attend?
So there's probably a technical definition, but the way I see it, it's the largest convention trade show in the world for pro anglers to attend, for inventors, manufacturers, everybody in the fishing and outdoor industry attends this thing. You've got buyers there, media, so it's an expose for everything that's new, latest, and greatest in the industry. People attend to network. They attend to place orders, buyers. Media tends to cover it and, show off what's new. Like I said, up and coming technology, lures, baits, soft plastics, anything you can think of. Life jackets, kayaks, there's everything in the world related to fishing and outdoors is at ICAST. It's pretty amazing.
And it's only the trade, right? So people can't, just the public can't attend, right?
So yeah, the public, not on this one. Yeah, they can attend other big events like the Bassmaster Classic or Red Crest or things. But on this one, this is for, people in the trade, yes.
Cool, good. And you were there for 3 years this year, right? From what I understand, right?
Well, I was there.
I'm sorry, 3
Yeah.
I'm sorry, 3 days. Good Lord.
Yes, I was going to say. Was it 3 years?
You were there. It might have felt like 3 days now, or 3 years.
I actually planned on going the first day, which I did, and then I was going to go back the last day, but there was so much to see. I ended up going an extra day, and I could have gone the whole entire, span of the deal there, but there was just so much to see. I had to go back for an extra day, and people to talk to, and interviews, and all that kind of good stuff. So it was busy, but very good. Tiring.
Yeah. And people, from what I understand, the pro anglers go to A, to see what's new in the industry, but B, also to kind of network and, just have FaceTime with their sponsors and that kind of thing, right?
Exactly. And they're there to represent and promote products and network. That's their deal. There were a lot, pretty much everyone was there. I mean, we saw, everyone from Roland Martin and Scott Martin, Bill Dance, and it was full of lots of big names in the industry. Lots of big advocates for the bass fishing world, in particular, saltwater anglers too. So it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun following. I mean, I wasn't there this year, but it was fun following on Instagram. There's some pretty nicely known anglers would post. I got to finally meet Kevin Van Dam or whoever and take a picture with him, or so it was fun following all that.
And they're very willing and gracious with their time. It's a very good event to meet and greet, get interviews. I talked to almost everyone there. It was very good and productive for a lot of people to be there. Yeah.
Good. Did you see any interesting new products or companies that kind of stuck out in your mind?
I mean, literally, there's everything you can think of there, from new soft plastics to buckets that turn into portable toilets on boats. There's everything in the world there.
That could be handy.
I saw a lot of different things. I mean, to me, I noticed a lot of lithium battery companies coming to the market. I mean, it's already a big deal, but that's a big deal. A lot of new ones coming to the market. Kayaking is huge. Those are two things that stood out to me in a big way. I mean, you've got your traditional, saltwater, freshwater types of deals there, but I did notice in particular lithium batteries and kayaking. I mean, I like to see there's a ton of new baits and hard baits and soft baits and whatnot and rods and that stuff's always there. But it's those are the two things that stood out to me. Security systems for boats, I know they're out there, but I saw some neat stuff with that too. So It was jam-packed full of products and new technology.
The lithium, the battery comment is interesting. I mean, obviously these electronics on boats are just becoming so much more extensive, I guess. So the battery configurations are quite just impressive. I mean, it's the battery support you need for this stuff is pretty, extensive.
Yeah, technology demands it. I mean, with all the new with the live systems and 360s and all the new technology, it just can't keep up sometimes with traditional battery setups. So, and those, when you're adding batteries, they get heavy, and they can still work, but lithium serve a purpose too when they're coming in, and they have extended lifespans, and they're less load on the boat. So, there's a need for it. It's got to keep up with the technology that's being put on the boats. For sure.
Do you have any thoughts of why kayak fishing is becoming so popular? Just accessibility, cost,
accessibility. Yeah.
That's right.
I've often told my kids, it's unbelievable how much fishing tournaments and being on the water right now it costs. So, but we still love it. But kayaking, I love to kayak fish, and so one of the big reasons is the accessibility, like you said. You can get to places that other people can't. You can be alone and remote and feel like you're kind of more in tune with your, nature. Sounds kind of cliche-ish, but it's true. So you're not going to be surrounded by lots of boat traffic and stuff when you're going to smaller lakes or smaller bodies of waters with kayak. So, yeah. Yeah.
No, it's accessibility in terms of being able to get different places, as well as just, like you're saying, cost accessibility. I mean, it's, boats are the price, pretty modest boat, quote unquote, new is the price of a house. It's, it's,
and some of the kayaks aren't cheap either. They've got some pretty expensive kayaks out there too. They're jumping in on it too, but they're still obviously more reasonable. And if you have a kayak, you can store it differently and carry it differently, and there's different trailering needs for kayaks versus bass boats or saltwater boats. So it does come down to accessibility and cost, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But I know the kayakers, and you might be doing this too, you're tricking out these kayaks with all kinds of things. So you take a theoretically fairly modest cost of entry.
I have a blue kayak from Walmart. It's probably $79. So yeah, I'm not there yet. All the money's in the bass boat for now. But I catch fish out of my blue kayak. But no, there's some seriously tricked out kayaks, especially at ICAST. Everything you can imagine on these boats, including live and just everything. So and kayak, tournament fishing for kayak anglers is really big now too. There's a lot of money in it. There's a lot of activity, and it's going to continue to grow too. I think it's a trend. It's not going to go away anytime soon.
Yeah. Did you happen to notice anything at ICAST about, electric motors, kind of creeping their way in any way into the boating world, or was that not really?
It was. I did not spend a ton of time. So this disclaimer on motors at this show.
Yeah.
So I didn't notice a huge push. That's not to say it wasn't there. So that wasn't my primary focus, but
no, I understand.
I didn't hear a lot of talk about it, but it could have been there in some way, shape, or form.
I don't think the industry's there yet. We know that they are working, Yamaha and Mercury, for instance, we know they're working on it in a very hushed manner. Nothing official, but you know that they're working on this. So
I'm sure. Yeah. It's going to continue to evolve, and I'm sure that's coming too. Yeah, just like cars.
Good. Well, thanks so much for this, Jason. I'm sure people will find this interesting, and plenty of people can't attend ICAST that would like to go. So it was great to kind of hear some of this behind the scenes a bit. And I definitely encourage folks to head to Bass Fishing Insider for bass fishing tips, news, interviews with the pros, and a lot more. So thanks again, Jason.
No problem. Thank you so much.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the PartsVu Xchange Talks Boating podcast. Are you in a dock war with your boating neighbor for the cleanest boat? Check out our marine soaps, polishes, waxes, and more at PartsVu.com. And for free shipping, use the coupon code PVTalksShine, a special perk for our podcast listeners. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram for boating knowledge, to keep in touch with the PartsVu community and for special sales and promotions. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review this podcast, and check out the show notes for the coupon code just mentioned, more information about PartsVu and the products we offer, as well as our boating blog, the PartsVu Exchange. And a big thanks to Mind for performing the original music featured within this podcast.